One of the things I've noticed since I've started doing these videos about MGTOW is how they love to say the same things over and over. Have you noticed that? Not one of them has come and said anything unique. They keep repeating the same garbage like little parrots. It's most interesting. But one of the things that they've said really caught my attention. This one aspect of their little program is something that they really seem to love to throw in women's faces and crow about and beat their little chests about. And that thing is the development of artificial wombs and sex robots. So let's talk about those things. Point one, let's talk about the artificial womb. What they in their youth, because a lot of these dudes are teenagers and probably still in high school and, you know, stupid. So, we got to cut them a little bit of slack. What you young dudes don't understand is human physiology, okay? There's not a human born on this planet and never will be without a female ovum and a male sperm. So now where the implanted egg goes, whether it goes into another human body, into some kind of, artificial womb, or into a sheep or a cow, I don't care where it goes. That thing, that the beginning of a human being will never ever change. It's going to always be a human ovum from a female and a sperm from a male. Okay, so get over this thing where you think you're going to be having kids without women's involvement. That will never happen. Somewhere, somehow, there will be a woman involved in the production of every child born on this planet from now until doomsday. Okay, so let's move on from that. Point number two. They love to talk about sex robots because they feel like the only thing that women are good for is sex. And they don't want to be bothered with having to take you out to dinner and marry you and all this stuff in order to get sex. So they are looking at the development of these artificial robots that are, quite lifelike actually, as being something advantageous for them, so they don't have to, deal with women and they still will have sex. I'm like, okay, that works for me. Let me tell you why that works for me. They forget this one thing. These companies are not just making robots for men. They're also making them for women. And since there are more women on this planet than there are men, don't you think the demand might be a little bit higher on the female side? In everything I was reading, they have a backlog of orders for the male dolls of months. There's 4 major companies that make these robots, and they cost anywhere from, like US dollars, for several thousand to as much as $50,000. So they're not cheap. And who knows what, what if it breaks down, who repairs it, and what if it gets a computer virus? I thought of all kind of stuff, but we won't talk about that. Let's focus on the benefits of having a sex doll for women. There are many. Let me explain. For women, usually when we get in a relationship, we give a lot. There's a lot of demands on women, a lot of expectations for cooking and cleaning and meeting his sexual demands and, dealing with his problems. And you got to deal with his baby mama and his mother and his, it's like all this shit that comes with men picking up after them because they're all slobs. They want to eat all the fucking time. So you in there trying to cook them or order them, stop and pick up something for them to eat at the fast food place or takeout restaurant or something. There's a lot of responsibilities that come when a woman decides to be in a relationship with a man. His workload decreases, hers doubles, at least doubles. Don't add kid to it because then it's going to triple. But women do that because they feel like, dealing with the guy, there's some advantages there. When you look at the MGTOW groups, there's no advantages to dealing with them at all. These guys have problems. And when you have a man who straight up tells you in the front of the, as soon as you meet him, that he doesn't want to give you anything, he doesn't want to do anything for you, that you're not worth it, at least I can say that I do appreciate their honesty. I do appreciate that because you can see them coming from a mile away. The problem I have with them is even though they say they're going their own way, and even though they say they have no use for women, and even though they say they don't want to give women anything, what they do want is to use your body for sex. So this is why I feel like women need to take charge of that. Of course, women want sex. Of course, you're an adult woman, you enjoy sexual pleasure. However, if you're in a situation where you're having sex with a guy who really doesn't give a shit about you, that is a dysfunctional and abusive relationship. You're caring about someone who is lying to you and manipulating you into thinking that they care for you, because then they get to reap the benefits of a relationship where you do care without actually caring. You see what I mean? It's just a mind game. So the advantage for a woman to have a sexual relationship with a male robot instead, the list is new. I mean, there's just a lot of things on the list. I made a little slide so you can look at them, which includes, you don't have to worry about getting pregnant. You don't have to worry about getting any kind of STD. You don't have to worry about his ex-girlfriend being jealous and stalking you down. You know what I mean? Trying to hurt you. You don't have to deal with his ex, his baby mama. You don't have to deal with any drama whatsoever, because he is just going to give you what you want and then shut the fuck up. That sounds like a perfect situation to me. And for single mothers, the advantage is, you can have your good time and you don't have to worry about this man molesting your children. That is also something that brings great peace of mind. Now, there's been some discussion in this industry about the moral stance of it all, like, of beings who cannot give consent. I think if you're talking about a sentient being, like, people want to screw dogs and cows and horses and stuff like that, I'm telling you, these men are weird as hell. That's different, because those are creatures with a heartbeat. They give live births. They are sentient beings, and they have feelings and hearts, and they deserve to be treated with respect. When you're talking about a machine, it's like talking about a car. I mean, it's talking about a computer. That's what you're doing. Is there really a need to consider that and give that the same rights as a human being? There's some concern, like, because they have some that are built to look like children. And some of these men who are pedophiles are ordering those children, fake kid robot sex dolls. There are men who they might order like a sex doll of another race, and if they are racist type, they might want to take out their anger and rage and abuse the little sex doll that's this brown or black color. That could all be, these are all things that people are concerned about, and I totally get where they're coming from. But I think that, you can't worry about that. It's like somebody going to, beating up their car. If that's what they want to do, and they paid $5,000, $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 for the car, and then they decide they want to beat up on it, well, that's them and their red wagon. It's their money. They do what the fuck they want to do. As long as it's not a real person, then you committed a crime. So ladies, you think about the advantages to this for women, and flip that around. I mean, these guys are trying to say, like they're going to replace women, and that women are disposable. And I mean, they are really seriously yucking it up. You can look on the last video I did and look at the comments and see how many times they say that same thing about sex robots. These dudes are excited as hell to be fucking a machine. And if that's really what they want, then that's what they should have. I'm not going to deny them that privilege. But you got to look at, by the same token, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And if they want to set things up so they want to have robots and, not date you and not treat you with any kind of respect, but still have you in the background to fuck you, to relieve their dick pleasure, provide them with dick pleasure, then you have to really reconsider any kind of involvement with a guy like that. He just using you. If you're going to have a situation where you just want to have sex, these sex robots might be just the way to go. They even sell them on Amazon, child. I saw them. So that's what I got to say on this subject. And if be sure to put your comments and your thoughts down in the comment section below. I'm very anxious to hear what you got to say. This is Deb Cooper from survivingdating.com. I'll talk to you guys real soon.